So welcome to the second annual Women in the Industry event at Miami International Boat Show. I'm Michele Goldsmith. I am the Vice President and General Manager of the Sounding Straight Only Group and the creator of the Women in the Industry series. As we begin, I would like to thank our sponsors who make this event possible. This is a free event to all of you because of them. And those sponsors are MarineMax, Volvo Penta, Correct Craft, Cito, Brunswick, West Marine, MRAA, and the Luxury Financial Group. I'd like to thank Julie, Donna, and Chris from the AIM team, and Gary and Eric who are here from our team, and Lydia who is filming for us, and also the team at Smart Source who helps us with all of our signage. So today we have 3 dynamic leaders. They're each running very different businesses within the marine space, from a boat dealership to boat sharing, from finance to Discover Boating to boat shows. Each of these women are leading a team in an age of technology, remote work, and at a time when most leaders are talking about how fast innovation is happening and how difficult it is to keep up with it. I think that today we will have a fascinating conversation about leadership, innovation, technology, AI, its impact and ethics, and their vision of the industry's future. So let's begin. I'd like to introduce our panelists. Ellen Bradley, who is the Chief Brand Officer and SVP Marketing and Communications at the National Marine Manufacturers Association. Brenna Preisser, who is the EVP and President, Brunswick Acceleration, Chief Strategy Officer of Brunswick Corporation, and Kim Sweers, who many of you know as the Boat Boss, who is a podcaster, the owner of FB Marine Group, and the founder and owner of Picked Cherries. Welcome, ladies. So, off we go. Questions. I get to ask questions today. So we're going to start with a few leadership questions. They're a little softball questions to get us warmed up in the morning. And then we're going to go into technology and finish with the future of the industry. So one of my favorite quotes, it sits on my desk. It says, either you drive disruption or you're outpaced by it. And it's a quote from Porsche. So my question, we're going to start with Brenna, is how do you empower your teams to achieve collective success and foster a culture of innovation, motivating them to step outside of their comfort zones? So you talked to me about a quote that you like from Benjamin Franklin.
Well, there's 2. I was thinking your quote, also known as change or die. That's a very straightforward way of saying that. I also like recently Ben Franklin, well done is better than well said. And so I think is what we'll be talking about today. You're always looking at how do you bridge that into action or plans, really make a difference for the customer experience. I think from a change perspective, one of the things that I feel strongly about is you really have to get people aligned around a vision. And we spend time, if you can just stand in the future, say 10 years from now, what do we think the industry is going to look like, the consumer is going to look like? I think naturally that starts to present a picture of change. And really the role of great leaders is ultimately to drive change in the organization, the business. And as you get folks aligned, being part of that change is ultimately where I think you have some of the breakthrough innovation, and we'll talk about that a bit today. So completely agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ellen, you talked about the Simon Sinek phrase of knowing the why.
Yes, and I think when you're trying to motivate a team, you want to make sure that they are rooted in the purpose of why you are there. And what are you there to accomplish together? Because if that's misaligned, you're never going to motivate your team. And the second part of that is, and that goes to, I think, the vision that you talked about, right? And the second part of that is providing psychological safety for your team. And by that, I mean making sure that there is space for them to push back, making sure that there is space for them to bring ideas that might fail and will fail, and that is okay, and to really bring their true selves to their role and feel that they can speak truth to power. And it makes a huge difference in the ideas that you get. It makes a huge difference in the energy and the enthusiasm of your team, and I think is a really powerful motivator.
Absolutely, making space for them to make comments, whether it's positive, negative, or enhance what you're thinking about. They may make you think about something in a completely different way. And Kim, you also talked about trust when it comes to fostering innovation.
Well, for me, remember the day all of us think back when your parents were like, you're gonna ride a bike today, and you're like, I know I'm gonna fail. And they got you on that bike and you trusted in your parents enough that you weren't gonna die that day. I come from corporate America. I was #1 in a company I worked for that built data networks around the world. I never felt safe. I always felt that the next day I was going to lose my job because the leadership wasn't right. And so I said, if I ever own my own business, I will have a safe place, a safe haven for my people to come to work, not worry about losing their career, because we don't call it jobs at FB Marine Group. And so for me, it's trust. Build that trust, make sure your workplace is a safe place. You want them to communicate, and it goes both ways. Communication needs to be fluid. It's not just, one-way street. You have to tell them about what's going on in your company. They have to tell you what's going on. No silent liars. If you do not know what that means, check it out. If someone's sitting at a table and they're not saying something, but they're the one that's leaving that meeting and complaining, that's a problem. And then we talk about celebrating their successes. When they do a great thing, celebrate it, and others are gonna be like, I want that too. So it's really important, and give them the tools to innovate and create and collaborate.
Absolutely, especially if you're an out-of-the-box thinker. I mean, if you want them to do some stuff that's never been done before, that trust in you as a leader has to be there. So going to that point, starting with Brenna again, what skills do you believe are crucial for female leaders to develop, and how can they cultivate them?
Yeah. So maybe to start at a place, I've spent a lot of my career in talent and talent management and actually studying some of the differences in leadership between kind of men and women. I would say one, there are a lot of common truths for any leader to be successful. So just as we talked about strategy, leading change, I do think for women in particular, leading strategically and being confident as a thought leader and having a perspective. Often through kind of studies, women can be get blank done. We can know how to get stuff done, but you also need to be seen as someone who's looking around the corner. And I think that requires that you're thinking beyond kind of your business, your function, but you're looking outside the organization. So I definitely think that would definitely be one.
Yeah, I remember reading that men will apply for a job if they have 70% of the skills.
Right.
Because they figure they can figure the rest out, or someone will help them.
Right.
But women have it within their heads that they have to have 100% of the skills to apply for that job.
Yes.
And it's a distinct difference
Yes.
in thought process.
You and maybe we'll talk about this more, I think it is getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
That is that, and you're never, if you ever think you're gonna for me, once I kind of hit that ooh, I feel like I'm in a good spot, then it's like, something's wrong. I need to be, because I don't know how to operate if I'm in the comfort zone. So I think it's okay. It's not often you're gonna be the 10 out of 10, but that doesn't mean that you take the risk. I'll say one other, Michelle, the risk taking. Is another area where I would just continue to encourage women as you step into new roles. I'm always like, if you think you've got it, it's not big enough of a stretch. So getting comfortable, stretching yourself, and that gets into some of the risk tolerance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kim, I loved one of the things that you said to me. You said, don't let others define you.
Absolutely. Don't let anyone take your power. As women, we all believe we can do it because that's just our nature. But really just do not let anyone in your space say that you can't do it. And I have a saying, there's two people. There's the basement people and the balcony people. Get rid of or reduce the basement people in your life that pull you down and not let you achieve the greatness that you're meant to be. And so you want to find the balcony people. I know you guys are on my balcony, and a lot of you in the room are. Find those cheerleaders that are going to say you can do it. They're behind you 100%. And as female leaders, it's so, so important that, listen, we're all gonna die. I don't wanna admit that I'm gonna die, but at some point, I'm going to retire, and I wanna share as much as I can about how I got to where I am organically and pull that chair. I've earned my seat at the table, I'm keeping my seat at the table, and I'm going to teach all of you how to I'm gonna pull that seat out, and I'm gonna invite all of you to learn what I've learned so that we remain at the table as women.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go to the next question. I get asked a lot about time management. I don't know if you all do, but I wanted to ask when you're most productive and what time management tips you would give to the audience. And Ellen, you and I are common. In fact, we walk together. But I love to walk because it's as much about mental space for ideas and creativity. It's when I get all of those thoughts. I'm constantly taking, video or audio notes
Yep.
while I'm walking. And I know you run.
Yes.
And you
yes.
also told me that mornings are sacred for family for you.
Yes, and I could not agree with you more on the running and the walking. It is my church, my therapy, my brainstorming time, and so I start my day, and it is my husband and I think the other part of it is having a great partner. We work together to make sure that I get out in the mornings for my runs. I try to do a 5K and every morning, and it is where I clear my head. I know I've got a big day. I know I'm going to be faced with a lot of different challenges and stressors, whether it's my kids, whether it's my job. And so getting that time for myself, and then the mornings really are sacred. And I will add that no matter what level you are at, no matter what position you are in, you have to make time for yourself. And you are so much more in tune with everything around you when you make that space for you. And I know it's this cliche where you put the mask on yourself before somebody else when you're in an airplane, the oxygen mask, but it's a cliche for a reason. And so my husband and I get out for my runs, but then my mornings are with my kids. So I work very intently to not schedule meetings before 9 a.m. so that I can walk my kids to school every day and spend that quality time with them. And those are some of the most precious moments of my day that allow me to then accomplish whatever comes my way. But then it's head down, and you get efficient and you make it work, and you make sure that you're giving your all the rest of the day, but you can't do that without that morning, or for me, I can't do that without my morning time.
Yeah, and I know that you work late because we've had some correspondence. I'm a night owl too, so we've gone back and forth. So Brenna, you said know thyself.
Yes, no, because I think there's not one formula for any person. I truly think it is about, one, being mindful, getting to know your own energy levels. I think one of the things for me that I probably learned too late was this changing your mindset around investing in yourself. So let's say it's more recently for me, it's yoga. That's a bit of my kind of zen and recharge. Earlier in my career, I always would have been, I need to be doing something else. And then you're just in your mind, you're not managing your energy, where now it's like this hour where you're investing in yourself. It's all about going the distance, being really mindful of, it's not about winning today or tomorrow, but it's truly, 10, 20 years from now, what impact are you going to have if you don't take care of yourself? And then that also, I think, spills over into your team. They watch us as leaders and what we do, and by those actions, it gives people permission. I want people to come to work as a full person, from their personal life, their home life. They'll give their best, and I think that has been part of our success in business acceleration.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kim, you are the ridiculous early riser. I had to do it as a child because I was a competitive athlete, but you are up at 4:30 in the morning. And that is your sacred time. Earlier at 4. And that is your sacred time.
It is, but you have to understand, everybody, that there's a scale. So I believe in 6 hours minimum a night for sleep. So I go to bed earlier at night. I'm in bed by 9:30, but I wake up at 3:50 to 4 o'clock every morning, and I call that the power hour. So if you can say, how did I get to where I am today, I believe, no, there's a lot of you that can't do that. So then spend that quality time at night, but find those power hours for yourself. What my morning looks like, I do not look at my phone first thing in the morning. It's basically the first thing I do, and Ken knows this, but we don't live together, we're in opposite ends of the world in regards to Florida, but turn my lights on immediately, I start affirmations, I start praying, I start visualizing, and then from there it's water, 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 then coffee. And then from there I get up, I put my feet on the floor, I go to the gym. Gym's super important because our health is wealth. And a 3-time cancer survivor over an 8-year period proved to me that I was not living the right life. And so it taught me, cancer was my huge wake-up call to say, you're not good, do something about it. So for me, that's that power hour. And then I'm at work, I walk the dog, kiss my son when he goes to school, and then I'm at the office by 7 a.m. Now the second part of that is what I do at night. And if I can say one more thing about what I challenge all of you to realize is that every single moment of your day, every experience that happens is a learning lesson. There's a message, whether it be from your higher power of God or the universe. But what I do at night is I get into bed, I don't watch TV because that's not really my thing, I don't do a lot of it, but turn some music on, turn the lights down, and I time block every single 15 minutes, what did my workout look like? What did, my meeting with this, team member, what did this look like? And then I take every single good thing that happened, that one thing, that lesson, and I carry it to the next day and throw out all the other crap that happened that day. And there's a saying I have, get 1% better every single day, and if you do that, that makes you 37 times better every single year. So focus on yourself, and that's what my 2 power hours are.
That's
power
fantastic.
hours.
When good things happen, I actually write it on a Post-it note and I stick it in a jar, and then when I'm having a bad day, I'll pull those out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we're going to go on to some technology questions, and Ellen, I'm going to start with you. So this is a multi-pronged question, but I know that you'll have a couple of answers for it. So how has technology enhanced your customer's approach to the customer experience in ways of removing friction from the customer journey, retaining the customers, and are there specific technologies that you've implemented that personalize or improve those customer interactions?
For sure. So I think everybody in this room, right, has been impacted by technology, and it's changed our lives dramatically. And I would say that it is at the center, for sure, of how we deliver a really impactful customer experience. And at the same time, right now, we are in the middle of a dramatic shift when it comes to technology. And we are going to see so much change. 2024 is going to make all of us rethink our jobs. It's going to make all of us rethink how we approach, especially in my line of work, marketing, and how to engage consumers. And I don't think that it's really landed with a lot of people because when I talk about AI, it's AI that is making this massive impact. And it's not just the chat GPT and the generative AI, but just the speed at which the technology companies are bringing this it's the superhighway, and we've never experienced anything like it. So I will tell you that there is dramatic change coming to how we engage the consumer, the way that we personalize content, the way SEO is going to be gone in a lot of ways. And so how are we going to adapt to that, right? You're already seeing when you go to Google, you probably get the AI response at the top. SEO and search is the consumer has to do work. When you think about it, search is like work. Oh, now I got to go through this long list of all these websites and see if this is the right one. AI is going to change that. You don't have to do that homework anymore. You don't have to do that work anymore. It's all right there. And so how are we as marketers, as industry communicators, going to make sure that we are ahead of that and embracing it, because our consumers are going to expect it. They already are expecting it. So the more seamless that we can make the journey of a consumer learning about our products, seeing our products, feeling our products, being able to communicate with us about our products and answer questions in real time and provide them that transparency at every stage of that journey is going to be more important than ever.
It's amazing. I was at a conference in September in New York, and every session I went to, whether it was on probiotics or it was on, genetic mutations, or it was on marketing and branding. AI came up in every single session. And to hear what's going on with DeepMind, which is owned by Google, the president of that was there, and to hear how they're using AI to study the genetics of people and how that can be adapted for people's health is absolutely fascinating. Brenna, you emphasize the case for technology, and of course you have the ACES strategy, which is autonomy, connectivity, electrification, and shared access.
Yeah. Well, maybe first just to kind of anchor and look at the industry, and I always start with the consumer. And you think about, there is, on a 10 out of 10 scale, I would say to participate in marine, like the boating experience and being on the water is like a 10 out of 10.